Bhakti or Devotion, Part 5. None, O beloved, loves the husband for the husband's sake, but for the self that is in the husband. None, O beloved, ever loves the wife for the wife's sake, but for the self that is in the wife. None ever loves anything else except for the self. Even this selfishness, which is so much condemned, is but a manifestation of the same love. Stand aside from this play, do not mix in it, but see this wonderful panorama, this grand drama played scene after scene, and hear this wonderful harmony. All are the manifestation of the same love. Even in selfishness, that self will multiply, grow, and grow. That one self, the one man, will become two selves, which, when he gets married, several, when he gets children, and thus he grows until he feels the whole world as his self, the whole self, universe as his self. He expands into one mass of universal love, infinite love, and love that is God. Thus, we come to what is called supreme bhakti, supreme devotion, in which forms and symbols fall off. One who has reached that cannot belong to any section, for all sections are in him. To what shall he belong? For all churches and temples are in him. Where is the church big enough for him? Such a man cannot bind himself down to certain limited forms. Where is the limit for unlimited love, with which he has become one? In all religions which take up this ideal of love, we find the struggle to express it. Although we understand what this love means and see that everything in this world of affections and attractions is a manifestation of that infinite love, the expression of which has been attempted by sages and saints of different nations, yet we find them using all the powers of language, transfiguring even the most carnal expression into the divine. Thus sang the royal Hebrew sage, thus sang they of India. O beloved, one kiss of thy lips, kissed by thee, one's thirst for thee increaseth forever. All sorrow cease, one forgets the past, present, and future, and only thinks of thee alone. That is the madness of the lover, when all desires have vanished. Who cares for salvation? Who cares to be saved? Who cares to be perfect even? Who cares for freedom, says the lover. I do not want wealth, nor even health. I do not want beauty. I do not want intellect. Let me be born again and again amid all the evils that are in the world. I will not complain, but let me love thee, and that for love's sake. That is the madness of love which finds expression in these songs. The highest, most expressive, strongest, and most attractive human love is that between man and woman, and therefore that language was used in expressing the deepest devotion. The madness of this human love was the faintest echo of the mad love of the saints. The true lovers of God want to become mad, inebriated with the love of God, to become God intoxicated men. They want to drink of the cup of love which has been prepared by the saints and sages of every religion, who have poured their heart's blood into it, and in which have been concentrated all the hopes of those who have loved God without seeking reward, who wanted love for itself only. The reward of love is love, and what a reward it is! It is only thing that takes off all sorrows, the only cup by the drinking of which this disease of the world vanishes. Man becomes divinely mad and forgets that he is man. Lastly, we find that all these various systems in the end converge to that one point, that perfect union. We always begin as dualists. God is a separate being, and I am a separate being. Love comes between, and man begins to approach God, and God, as it were, begins to approach man. Man takes up all the various relationships of life as father, mother, friend, or lover, and the last point is reached when he becomes one with the object of worship. I am you, and you are I. And in worshipping you I worship myself, and in worshipping myself I worship you. There we find the highest culmination of that which with which man begins. At the beginning it was love for the self, but the claims of the little self made love selfish. At the end came the full blaze of light, when that self had become the infinite. That God, who at first was a being somewhere, became resolved, as it were, into infinite love. Man himself was also transformed. He was approaching God, he was throwing off all vain desires of which he was full before. With desires vanished selfishness, and at the apex he found that love, lover, and beloved were one.